Did you know? The word dream comes from the Old Norse word drömmar and has in today's day and age Swedish transformed to drum. The word means, outside the context used in today, to rejoice, to sing or to make music. And dreams is one of the most fantastical creations made by Saint Gabriella. Hallowed be she as she entombs the might of the Lord, your God. You see, Freya, hallowed be she as she entombs the devotion to God, was sad when Noah left. Although she always took preference in women, this never meant she abandoned men. She just worries the most for them. She was just worried that they would abandon her, and that she could never see them again. She would say and hold back tears. Gabriella, under the guidance and allowance of her father, Jehovah, she spun the great dream weave which us humans and other creatures use even to this day to dream. She created it as a gift to her little sister Freya, but as Gabriella was spinning it, she noticed that her other little, and much younger, sister Gadriel had sneaked into her rooms. Gabriella was furious, but tee-hee, she snickered, which caused great annoyance to Gabriella. But Gabriella called her my little pumpkin, which enraged Gadriel so much that she cried out of anger. But rather than send her out, she realized that Gadriel just really missed her big sister. So she and Gabriella weaved the dreamweave together, with some help from their brother, Eitri. The dreamweave was ready just about when Noah reached dry land. And Freya immediately jumped up and down in happiness, exclaiming, which is why, when we dream at night, we hear the songs of Freya, she who is sometimes called Cassiopeia, inspiring us to do greater and better. And sometimes, when we really need it, a warm, unconditionally loving hug, to remind us that somewhere out there, she dreams of us too. As she also dreams of when we will meet her again. Yet, what neither of the siblings knew was that Gadriel had spun her own secret weave, and when that was found out much later, it was too late, as it had spun with Gabriella's. And the fruits of this darker weave came the first of Gadriel's Maras, which is why she, to this day, calls herself the Queen of Maras. Did you know that the word nightmare is derived from another Norse word, mardrum, where drum, as previously mentioned, means dream, and mar is a shortification for
Mara,
the creature that rides you whenever you have a nightmare. Most of the times invisible to human eyes, Mara is not to be confused with a succubus, incubus. Succubuses, incubuses are not necessarily evil or good. For instance, the famous bard, Sargosi of the Sea, got help from multiple succubi during her seat Ravels East, close to Jarnalvorna Skog. Yet, years later, Madeline the Tall had to duel a succubus trying to stop her on her mission oh so holy. Furthermore, succubuses have their own autonomy and multiple motivations, and like humans, sometimes complex, sometimes not, Maras do not. They only follow the word of their creator, Gadriel, to spread her word, and the deceiving false gospels of hell. Maras only live for their carnal desires, nothing else, to please their queen. Now, how to spot the difference between a Mara and a succubi? Although both entities have horns and claws, Maras always have tails, which not all succubi have. Their eyes, wherein succubi's eyes are explained as luring or beautiful, the Marases are not at all. As Maras are mostly active at night, they rely more on touch, hearing and smell. So their eyes are just glowing lights, the glow burning from the fire infernal given to them by Gadriel. Their faces. Succubus faces are beautiful, whereas Mara's faces are usually contorted, as Amara's face is usually only used for one thing. Style of communication. Succubus are all fluent in Babylonian, the language spoken in the times before the fall of Babel, which makes it so that they can communicate with every human, pig, and meadowborn. Maras can barely communicate, but it differs from Mara to Mara. Yet, they are known to be able to mimic the speech of loved ones to easier lure their prey. Succubi are their own race, whereas Maror was once human. This either happened when they were a fetus, and their mothers tried by witchcraft to break the punishment of Eve. That is, the great pain of childbirth. Or, they were corrupted post-birth by a demon, or in the example we will discuss later, an angel. How to protect yourself against Amara. The song, Mara, Mara, minne. Du får inte vara här inne. This ancient song scares the Mara. As it was taught by Uriel, hallowed be she carrying a piece of the Lord's eternal flame inside of her to the first humans post-flood. And this piece of holiness scares the Mara. Take a branch from a tree in your local woods and put it in your bed. When the mare sees this branch, she might ride it instead of you and cling onto it. Then, you may carry this branch and her out into the woods, ensuring a good night's sleep. Hang a scythe over your bed. The mare will ride its blade instead of you. Place a pair of horseshoes next to your bed. The mare will feel forced to put on these shoes instead of ever dreaming of riding you. Yet, experts conclude that the best source of protection is placing the Holy Bible under your pillow, with difficult mathematic equations in it. The mare feels forced to count everything yet is really bad at it. She will spend all night counting, or leave for another house. A full comprehensive list of various methods to protect your family against Amara can be found in your required reading. Document 32 KLYU, a prescription to the outlined by the Department of Flowers and Eulogy. Number 6789 D E 65 I 567. Section 89, page 5678. If above methods, including the ones in your required reading, does not work, such as in the case of alleged serial killer, Sylvester Moonfarer, who was haunted by Amara during almost her entire stay in Ledgetown. There is a cure, but apprehending Amara is very hard, especially one created by Gadriel. If you have suspicion someone is Amara, call the number on the screen. If the Mara is created by Gadriel, or anything else as powerful as her, your only solution. Write the following on your wall in blood, 97.78% success rate. If you are in the remaining 2.22%, the next move has to be destruction of the mare. They can only be destroyed by something created in the wind's meadow, such as Uskner, Madeleine de Tolle's crossbow, which was built using a branch from a tree located in said meadow. Its current location is said to be in Blokula. Another way of destroying Amara is to take one of the bedposts from the bed she was created in and then sharpen it to a pole. Such was the case of Fred Kim, who got mortally wounded by Amara. His current whereabouts and life status is kept confidential. And since Gadriel's current abode is deep inside of the resting halls, the back rooms, it's highly inadvisable to get to one of hers. So the question then arises, why? Why create these things? The one Mara that mortally wounded Fred Kim was created by Saint Zadkiel as a punishment for the woman named Sophie the Mara once was, sins of adultery. Yet the most common reason follows Sophie. Situation ironically, a sin does not always have to be something committed to someone else, such as adultery. It can be one committed to oneself or to your Lord, Jehovah. Using witchcraft, not science as we do in today's day and age, to bypass pain, creates a Mara, as it is a sin to use witchcraft for things you can endure. Gadriel, she created Maras out of people that chooses things that in the end, has no meaning, as their guiding light. Things that ultimately are sin. Things that exist in pandemonium. The only light that exists in hell. They keep walking towards it. Forever. If you have to slay a Mara, do not feel sad for the human they once were, as you could never have saved them. To them, their death is the final climax.